Okay, here we go. All answers in this question are going to be given to the nearest whole currency unit. So, in January 2008, Larry had 90,000 US dollars to invest for his retirement in 2011. So that's 2009, 2010, 2011, 3 years' time. He invests 40,000 US dollars in US government bonds, paying 4% per annum simple interest. Part A, calculate the value of Larry's investment in government bonds, so just the government bond bit, by the time he got to his retirement in 2011. So, okay, part A. We're going to use the formula for simple interest, which is CRN divided by 100. But that's going to give us the amount of interest that he earns. So then we're going to add the capital back on to get the value that's in his account. So 40,000 is how much we put in, times R, which is 4, times N, which is 3 years, over 100. That's going to give us our interest, and then we need to add that interest onto what we started off with, our original capital. All right, so here we go. 40,000 times 4 times 3 divided by 100, and then we're going to add 40,000 on. So we end up with 44,800 US dollars. That's how much his government bonds are worth at the end of 3 years. All right, and then on to part B. He wants to change it into South African Rand. The exchange rate is $1 equals 18.624 South African Rand. So we're going to get our answer and we're going to times it by 16.624. Okay, that's going to give us the amount of Rand that we need. So write down all of this. So we need 44,800 times 16.624, and we're going to get 744,755 South African Rand. Remember, the question asked us to leave everything to the nearest unit. All right, part C, what have we got? He exchanged the remaining 50,000 US dollars to South African Rand in January 2008. The exchange rate was $1 is 10.608 South African Rand, and there is a 2.5% commission charged on the exchange. Calculate the value in US dollars of the commission Larry paid. So Larry paid 2.5% off his 50,000 US dollars. So that's 50,000 times 0.025. That's going to give us 2.5% of 50,000. All right, so 1,250. That's part C. And then D, show that the amount that Larry had to invest is this amount of Rand, correct to the nearest 10,000. So what we're going to do is, this is how much commission we got charged. So let's just take that off our 50,000. So 50,000, take away our commission. Okay, that's $50,000. Take away the commission, and then times that by the exchange rate. Whoops, which is 10.608. Do I get the right amount? Okay, so to the nearest 1,000, that's right. But we need to show, let's write out part C and D properly now. Okay, so part C was find the amount of commission. So we had our 50,000 times 0.025, which gave us 1,250 US dollars. That's part C. And then part D, we basically did our 50,000 take away our commission gives us 48,750, and then we got our $48,750 and converted that to Rand by timesing it by 10.608. Okay, that got us our 517140 Rand, which is 517000 if we round it to the nearest thousand. Okay, part E. What does it say? In January 2008, Larry deposited this money into a bank account that paid interest at a nominal annual rate of 12% compounded monthly. Find the value of the money in Larry's bank account in January 2011. Okay, so I think it's just this bank account with the 50,000. So this is okay. So that's the amount of Rand. I'm not sure which one we should use actually. I guess we could use either. I'm gonna use this one, but I suppose if you didn't work it out, you could carry on with this number here. So we're gonna times that by 1 add, I need to remember what it was, 12% compounded monthly. So if we're gonna do 12% is the per annum rate. If we're compounding monthly, what we're going to do is just add 1% every month, which will give us 12% for the year. So either 1 add 1 over 100 or 1 add 12 over 12 times 100 if you're using the formula. It's the same thing. And we need to make sure it's 3 years, but 12 months. So that's three years once a month, so that's 36 months. That should give us the amount of South African Rand that he ends up with. So let's just take that number there and times it by 1 add 12 over, if you don't like that, it's just 12 add 1 over 100 is exactly the same, and then to the power of 36. Okay, so the amount in Rand he ends up with is 739908 South African Rand.